Hey everybody, Kuroda, Rob here. How's it going? So let's talk about Byleth today in Smash. And I've been waiting to do this for a few days, let things kind of boil over. And also, I've been busy too, so I just haven't had time. So that's the real reason. But anyway, so yeah. A couple of days ago, it was this past Thursday, there was a reveal for Smash, and unlike the other reveals, it wasn't announced beforehand in a Nintendo Direct or anything. This was just one of those Sakurai Presents videos, and Sakurai basically revealed it himself. And I think it surprised everybody that it ended up being another Fire Emblem character. And this has really divided the Smash community. You could see right here the like to dislike ratio on the video. It's pretty bad. It's not like 50-50, but it's still a lot of dislikes, and there's been a lot of negativity in response to this, and then there's people on the other side defending, you know, Sakurai's decision and all this, and it's really just divided a lot of the fans, and it's interesting. I really think, first of all, I gotta give a bit of props to Sakurai, as I kind of said after this was revealed shortly after, that Sakurai really has a way of, you know, kind of doing the unexpected and really subverting expectations. And yeah, I think nobody thought that it was going to be a Fire Emblem character, or very few people thought it was going to be a Fire Emblem character, particularly after the whole Corrin thing, and how displeased people were with Corrin's reveal at the end of Smash 4's DLC. I think it came to quite a shock to a lot of people that Byleth was revealed. And the other thing that's different about Byleth versus the rest of the DLC characters is that Byleth is the only first-party Nintendo character, so that was also pretty different. So yeah, like, it's gotten a very mixed response from the community. There's a lot of people defending Byleth's inclusion. I saw on Twitter right after the Smash Direct that Hose Mad was trending, which has become quite a meme, since, you know, obviously a lot of people are very angry about this. And there's also people who have not been shy in their distaste for this character, so it's been very interesting, to say the least, to observe. As far as my personal opinions go, I think I have a little bit different of an opinion than everybody else, and I'm going to preface it with like a slight little just story here. So I'm kind of very hesitant about, I was very hesitant in the beginning about buying the Fighter's Pass when it was first announced, because I don't really like this idea of buying something that I don't know what it's going to be. So I really held off on buying the Fighter's Pass, especially since the first fighter revealed was Joker, who I wasn't super into. I like Joker's stage, Memento, it's really cool, but I wasn't really into the character. And then we got Hero, who I actually was kind of excited about, and have since I've gotten really into Dragon Quest XI, so I really appreciate the character. And then the third reveal, of course, was Banjo and Kazooie, and that was an awesome reveal. That's been, as far as I'm concerned, the best DLC character announced. So I held out actually until Banjo was released. Like, I don't think I got the Fighter's Pass till like this past September, October. So I really held out on the Fighter's Pass. I was very hesitant to buy it without knowing them. But I was like, well, the first three characters are pretty legit, and even though I'm not a huge fan of Joker, I really like his stage, so it seems worth it. So if these three characters were really good, I think I'll take a crapshoot on the last two. Then Terry was revealed, and I felt like, meh, I didn't have any connection to the characters, and it was like, whatever. And then we got Byleth, and me personally, I felt a little roped into the Fighter's Pass. I really felt like that the first three characters were potentially really exciting. Nothing against you Terry fans, by the way, but I know Terry also kind of got a bit of a mixed reception. I felt like Terry was not really a character that I was excited about. And then this Fire Emblem reveal, just, to me, it just wasn't good. And I don't blame Sakurai, and I think I've been seeing a lot of that on the internet, with a lot of people blaming Sakurai and his team, and saying, you know, apparently there's even a very few fringe amount of people who are saying that Sakurai needs to be fired and all this nonsense. It's like, this isn't Sakurai's fault. First of all, like, it was said way in the beginning of the DLC cycle, he stated himself that Nintendo chose the DLC. So you can't really blame Sakurai, and Sakurai is only trying to make the best game he can. He's not doing it to... I mean, although I have to admit, it did kind of... I kind of laugh a little bit because some of it seemed like he was trolling a little bit with the fans. Like, Piranha Plant always felt that way to me, although Piranha Plant is an awesome character, and I thought that the Piranha Plant reveal was great. Sakurai does have a kind of, like, way... I think it comes off to me as kind of giving little jabs to the fans once in a while. I think he even said something at the Direct about, you know, people messaging him on Twitter, and, you know, he can't add everybody, so... but I think there was a little bit of Sakurai's humor in that, which I appreciated, actually. But I really do think that this was a decision by Nintendo. And as far as, like, being salty about the choice of Byleth for Smash, I'm more salty with Nintendo and not salty really at all with Sakurai. And I honestly, personally, wouldn't be upset about it at all if I hadn't bought the Fighter's Pass and if I hadn't felt kind of roped into buying the Fighter's Pass. But listen, people, like, if you're really upset about Byleth's reveal, which I am too, just don't buy the Season 2 Fighter's Pass until everything's revealed. If by the end of the Season 2, if all 6 characters, or at least most of them, to you seems like it's worth it, buy it. If not, buy characters individually. You don't need to have all of the characters. That's the big point that I've been hearing on the other side of the argument, the people who are kind of pro Byleth's inclusion, is that, hey, you don't need to buy this DLC, which is a valid point. But I think people who bought the Fighter's Pass with kind of higher expectations, and, you know, maybe this is just my bias because it's what happened to me, I think that they have a legitimate, you know, complaint, in my opinion. I'm sure people are going to disagree with that, but that's fine. You can disagree all you want. I don't really care. But yeah, I don't know. I think the anger directed towards Sakurai is kind of unwarranted, and the anger directed towards each other on both sides is also just... it's indicative of the internet. I mean, let's face it, that's just kind of, you know, the world we live in on social media, is that people are gonna obviously take sides and get angry with each other and fight over it. It's not worth it. We're talking about a single character in Smash. I understand why people are salty. I understand why people are defending Byleth's inclusion too. Let's just, like, not attack each other, and let's not attack Sakurai, and just... it's clear who's to me who's to blame for this. It's Nintendo. And the thing that really bothered me on Nintendo's part was that they tweeted right after the Direct that about the Fire Emblem Three Houses DLC. So to me, that just puts a stamp on it that, yes, this was clearly a marketing decision on Nintendo's part. And I get it, they're a company, they're a business, they have to make, you know, they're in this for the money, but little bit tasteless to me. I thought that they tweeted it right out. So I don't know, especially with all the the bad blood people have with Corrin, and the general complaint about the too many Fire Emblem characters being in Smash as it is. But on that point, I want to say that me personally, I'm open to more Fire Emblem characters if they're kind of different. And I'm not even really a fan of the series. I haven't really played much of the series. But I will say that Fire Emblem Three Houses got amazing reviews versus, like, the Corrin thing, where the game, you know, Fates really didn't have the good reception that Awakening had. And I know even Fire Emblem fans kind of complained about Corrin, and even some have been complaining about Byleth too, that, hey, they're kind of putting in a lot of the same type of fighters in, and, you know, it was even referenced in the Direct that there are too many sword fighters and this and that. So I think there's even, like, kind of a consensus among a certain amount of Fire Emblem fans that, yeah, there was no reason to have the kind of generic character be put in versus, you know, you could easily have an axe wielder or something, you know, that would be different for Smash. Or something different. Like, if a character from Fire Emblem brought something a bit more different to the table, then than what's been added. I think maybe, and I'm sure some people will argue that Byleth is different, which fine, it's you know, it's on you, but that's your opinion. But for me, yeah, I think that's part of the problem with this, and the fact that it's blatantly being used by Nintendo as advertisement, which is fine, but there's plenty of other characters, you know, that can be, you can use, and there's plenty of other games that are coming up that you could use that for. I mean, there's an Animal Crossing coming out very soon that you could have added an Animal Crossing character, you know. There's I'm sure there's going to be stuff revealed at a direct soon for 2020 that they could have, you know, unannounced games. You know, there's rumors of a Paper Mario that's going to be coming. There's rumors of a 2D Metroid. If those rumors are true, give us a Metroid character, or give us a Paper Mario. Give us Paper Mario. That's a Paper Mario himself is a character that people really want. So I don't know. I really do see why people are kind of upset about it, and you know, I agree that there's been too many of the same kind of Fire Emblem characters, but people, like, don't take it to such an extreme, you know. Don't start, like, yelling at people and being aggressive towards people and you know, blaming Sakurai for it. Like, you know what the most important thing you can do is? Vote with your wallet. I am personally not buying the Fighters Pass Season 2 until I know all the characters are in it. And if there's a character that I have to get, like if Geno is revealed, or there's a character like Skull Kid, or just one of these really big characters that I really, really want, I'll buy it individually. And if I get to the point where, you know, there's 2 characters I bought, and then and then all of them are revealed, and maybe there's 4 characters or 5 characters that I really like, I'll buy the Season Pass. You know, you don't need to. You can reward Nintendo for giving you something that you like, instead of just buying something blindly and hoping that it'll turn out. And I've certainly learned my lesson. Like I said, I was very, very hesitant to buy the Fighters Pass as it was. I feel slightly led on because of the first 3 characters announced, but I'm not gonna, like, complain about it and get on Twitter and get mad with at everybody and start arguing with people and blah blah blah. You know, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna vote with my wallet. Like, people need to do that. You know, the same thing happened with Pokemon Sword and Shield. Everybody was complaining. Everybody was making a bunch of noise over Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I think, yes, there's some legitimate criticisms of Pokemon Sword and Shield, but it's become like the most sold Pokemon game ever. Why haven't people voted with their wallets? It is the most effective strategy, or effective way that you can tell Nintendo or anybody else that you don't like what they're doing and that you don't want to support it. You just don't support it. Simple. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Byleth being included in Smash. I'm disappointed for sure, but it's kind of hard to complain when there's 6 new DLC characters coming. Overall, the Fighters Pass as a whole, I would say, so I can't even be too mad about buying it. Like, I'm pretty happy with, you know, at the very least, Hero and Banjo and Joker stage, and you know, who knows, maybe I'll end up liking Byleth if I try the character out, so I don't know. I will say that, that being said, that I'm definitely gonna do that and not buy Season 2. And hey, you know, we're gonna get 6 more characters, so even if the next 6 characters are a dud, it's hard to get too angry when the roster has been so good and there's been so much post-game content in this game. So props to Sakurai and the team. Sorry for Sakurai if he's getting a lot of backlash. It's not Sakurai's fault, people. Give him a break. The man works his ass off for us, the fans, and to make the game as good as he can. And yeah, just chill, guys. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Am I full of hot air? Do I not know what I'm talking about? Or, you know, which side of the fence do you land on? Let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.